We spent a little bit of time in the last video talking about how we can draft defense to help our team in this year's NFL draft. But now let's look back to the offensive side of the ball and talk about getting some weapons, some more weapons for Josh Allen. Welcome to Bleav Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to another edition of Draft Breakdown, where we break down the Buffalo Bills heading into the 2019 NFL Draft. And in this episode, we are going to talk about another draft need for the Buffalo Bills on the offensive side of the ball. We're going to talk about that tight end position. Before we do that, however, I want to remind everyone, if you haven't already subscribed to Bleavers Talk, what y'all doing? Hit that subscribe button. Not only do we have you covered up to the NFL Draft, we will be live right here on Bleavers Talk for the NFL Draft. And not only do we keep you covered on all Buffalo Bills news, we keep you covered on Buffalo sports. So you're talking the Bills, the Sabres, the Bulls. We have 3 Bulls players going out in this year's NFL Draft. Be interesting to see where they end up. I'll be talking about them in a later video. But right now, we are going to talk about the tight end. So again, subscribe, like this video, and then of course leave a comment. Happy to get back to you. Let's talk tight ends. In my previous videos, I have talked about the draft needs for the Buffalo Bills. If you weren't here for my previous video, I did mention that after signing offensive guard, left guard Quinton Spain to the Buffalo Bills, I have now removed the guard position as far as positions of need, just to make it easier for the sake of these videos. If you saw in the first video we did where I talked about draft needs, I actually had offensive guard as the #1 need for the Buffalo Bills. Well, now we go sign Quinton Spain, and I don't think we're going to be drafting too many offensive linemen early, considering we signed 6 of them in free agency. Although Brandon Beane's full of surprises, so I'm not going to say it's completely out of the question, but just for the sake of these videos, I took that out of there. I originally had 6 draft needs, moved that to 5. So we had wide receiver or running back at 5, wide receiver at 4. Last episode, we talked about the defensive tackle position. And now we're talking about my #2 position need, which is going to be that tight end position. Earlier this offseason, we cut Charles Clay. Logan Thomas, we lost him to free agency. Now, we did make 2 tight end signings. We signed 2 guys from Cincinnati, of course. We signed Jake Fisher, who originally was an offensive tackle type player. He's going to be converted to a tight end. And also Tyler Kroft from Cincinnati, more of a blocking tight end. However, he can and has been known to have a couple breakout games here and there, including that 2017 game where Cincinnati beat up on Baltimore and gave the Buffalo Bills their first playoff appearance since 2000, or 1999. So it was appreciated at that time. So what does the Buffalo Bills tight end room look like currently? Well, again, we just signed Fisher and Kroft, and we also have Jason Kroom. Jason Kroom was a rookie last season, showed signs of promise, but we definitely need some depth, more depth in that tight end room. And maybe, it might get a little too full in there. This might be one of those positions where we see a cut or 2, depending on how many tight ends we get. But for now, I think we need a good pass-catching tight end, and don't look any further than the first guy on the draft board, of course, as far as tight ends go, and that's T.J. Hockenson from Iowa. Everyone talks about him being the best tight end in this NFL draft, and as you watch film, you can see why, both being able to block and being able to catch the ball downfield. He is a mismatch for most linebackers, at least at the college level, maybe at the pro level. Obviously, linebackers a little bit bigger, a little bit tougher, a little bit faster, so it might not be as big of a mismatch, but man, he looked really good playing for Iowa and having a mismatch with most of the linebackers there. You go down this list, of course, #2 is another guy from Iowa, Noah Fant, who is a much better receiving tight end than blocking tight end. A lot of scouts, NFL scouts, say that he is a little weak coming into the NFL draft when it comes to blocking. So has some work to do there, but he's still listed as the #2 tight end. So you look down this list, and I've been saying, like, with the defensive tackle, a lot of you probably have defensive tackle ranked higher than tight end. And, I don't blame you for that, but the reason why I have tight end ahead of defensive tackle is because if you go down this list, the depth is not there like it is for defensive tackle. In the last episode I talked about defensive tackles. There's a lot of depth at that defensive tackle position. We can pick up a defensive tackle in the second, third, maybe even fourth round that has the ability to start and be a presence on this football team. When you look at the tight end position, it really comes down to the first three. Now, there are some others down there. There's Caleb Wilson from UCLA, some other good guys, Josh Oliver from San Jose State. I do like him. I think he could be a good complement tight end. But after Noah Fant, after TJ Hockenson, and then after Irv Smith Jr., the talent really drops off, or it seems to drop off at the tight end position. So if you're looking at tight end for the Buffalo Bills, you really want to get one of those first three tight ends. Now, Irv Smith Jr., one thing you have to like about him is both his father and his uncle played in the NFL, and so he has it in his blood, and they do say that, that kind of stuff can carry over. We took a flyer on Austin Proehl last season, didn't work out as well as we had hoped, but we did that because his father played in the NFL. So, we look at these three first tight ends, TJ Hockenson, Noah Fant, Irv Smith Jr. from Alabama. You just hope that maybe the Buffaloes can pick up one of these three, because, again, all three of these guys can be a mismatch problem when it comes to the passing game. And with TJ Hockenson, the best blocker of the three, but definitely some good blocking tight ends already on our team. You're talking about getting Jake Fisher, who was originally an offensive tackle. He knows how to block downfield. Tyler Kroft, a good blocking tight end. Maybe now's the time to get that good, solid receiving tight end. Now, we know that in Daboll's system, maybe tight ends are not as required as in other systems, but we still want to have that threat. We still want to have that guy that linebackers have to be careful of and not leave open. We have great slot receivers. We have two fast guys on both ends. We want to make sure that middle of the field gets covered too, so that way the linebackers can't cheat over to help cover one of those slot guys. So we want to make sure we have someone who can catch the ball. And again, we know that Tyler Kroft can catch the ball, and he's shown that in games in the past. But we need someone who can do it on a consistent basis. And so that's why maybe with that number 9 overall pick, TJ Hockenson, not a bad pickup. And I know a lot of you would agree with that. But tell me what you think. Do you think that TJ Hockenson should be the Buffalo Bills' 9th overall with 9th pick in the NFL draft, or do you think we should go a different direction? Now, there are some people saying TJ Hockenson might be there in the mid-teens, and if that's the case, maybe we do consider trading back. Maybe if he's on the board at 9, we trade back and say, hey, if we don't get Hockenson, we could still get Fant, whatever the case might be. But there is opportunity there to possibly trade back as well. I have seen some mock drafts where Hockenson goes before 9. Do the Buffalo Bills want to trade up to get this tight end? I personally don't think so. Again, if you've watched previous episodes, I think 9's high for a tight end. I'm not saying Hockenson's not worthy of that, but 9's pretty high for a tight end. Do I want to give up any more draft capital for a tight end position? A tight end position that, if we draft one, we'll have 4 tight ends then in the tight end room, and we'll have to release one anyway. I'm not sure if I want to give up more draft capital for that, but we'll see what happens come draft day, and you want to be here live, as we will have you covered for both days 1 and day 2 of the NFL draft. That's rounds 1, 2, and 3. We will be here for you covering it all. So again, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. Like this video, leave a comment. What tight ends do you like? Maybe I just insulted one of your favorite tight ends. Maybe you really like Caleb Wilson or Josh Oliver from San Jose State. Maybe you think those guys can be studs. I don't see it. I think they can be good complementary players, but maybe I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, so I could be wrong again. So hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment. After you hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, because we will be live going into the NFL draft for days 1 and days 2. And of course, we are live for every single Buffalo Bills game. So you want to hit that notification bell to let YouTube notify you when we go live. Also in the description, my Twitter link, so you can go there as well. Follow us on Twitter as we keep you updated not only on the Buffalo Bills, but all Buffalo sports, including the Sabres. Bisons just started season opener just the other day. And also the Buffalo Bulls, again, Tyree Jackson and a few are going to be drafted this season in the NFL draft. Let's see where they go. I'll do a video on them as well later on here before the draft. So again, hit that subscribe button, like this video, hit that notification bell, follow me on Twitter. I'll see you all soon. Until I do, Go Bills.